Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. We've got 56 days until the due date, which basically means I've got 5 to 8 weeks between that mark. As it stands, the baby is due July the 11th. It could basically come a little bit earlier, it could come a little bit later. We don't know. So we're expecting July the 11th, but we're reading a lot of stories at the moment. We're on these like forums and groups and Facebook groups, and we're seeing that baby was born 38 weeks and 37 weeks or 39 weeks. It's never really on week 40. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm giving myself a deadline of some sort to the July the 11th, and that's to just get into a little bit of better shape, really. I kind of let myself slip over the last year or so. But essentially, it's I'm not going to excuse any of it. It's essentially I've just been relaxing a lot more, been focusing on my business, been very sedentary during this lockdown period. But also, I genuinely say this is the main contributor is that ever since I've known that I was going to be a dad, my desire to train as hard, to be as focused on my nutrition has dwindled a bit. There's no denying that whatsoever. And it's kind of interesting how that's happened. But alas, there's still some sort of fire in me that doesn't want to represent the dad bod of today. Not to say that anybody is a bad body or anything like that. I hold myself to a pretty good standard in terms of my physique, and it's also a representation of my acting career and also, more importantly, my fitness coaching business as well. So I'll try and keep stress eating to a minimum. I'm pretty sure I've never been a dad before, but I'm sure that there will be a level of stress that comes alongside that, and sleep or lack of. So we'll see. But yeah, this is me just kind of giving a message out to you guys on YouTube that I will be documenting my training journey a little bit. My deficit's not going to be too low. I'm only consuming around about 2,500 calories at the moment. And then on rest days, it will be a bit lower. I'm going to go into the next clip and maybe you will see me train. So the first thing I want to address about how I'm going to lose around about 6 kilos in 8 weeks is what am I doing for my day-to-day activity. So I've set myself a target of hitting anything between 7 to 14,000 steps per day. That gives me a very broad range. Yes, I know. But as long as I know that I'm in between those marks, then I know that I'm being active enough for it to mix in with everything else that I'm doing. There may be days where I'm a bit busier, or like I've got to go to rehearsals for some reason, or I'm just on my feet a little bit more than other days. A lot of the time I'm quite sedentary because I'm an online coach, which basically means I sit down, review clients' progress and program their training. I'm basically sitting at a laptop for a long period of time. Essentially, I don't really get on my feet that often unless I'm going to the gym or I'm walking the dog. At the moment, I'm just going for a little morning walk. And don't get me wrong, I will push towards the higher number of 14,000 steps, but there will be days where I just can't be asked. Maybe it's a Sunday or something, and I just might want to sit in the garden when it's sunnier outside. But yeah, as long as I'm in between 7 to 14,000 steps, I know that I'm being active, but I will aim for the higher number. Not to say, after this walk that I'm doing, which will be about half an hour to maybe 45 minutes, I will then go home, have some breakfast, let that sit, let that digest a little bit, and then I will probably pop off to train. And because I've done that much activity already, I would have probably reached around about 14,000 steps, just like that really. But in terms of cardio, I'm not really doing anything else but that. So a lot of people tend to not waste their time, but a lot of people tend to drive their attention when it comes to fat loss or weight loss on doing as much cardio as possible. I'm trying to document and show you that if you just devoted some time to just actually focused on getting your steps in, or just being on your feet a little bit more often, delegate your calorie deficit towards your nutrition alone, and then focus on your training for building strength and building muscle and retaining muscle. That's all you ever really need. You don't really need to do hours per week doing cardio or anything excessive than that really. So right now, what I'm going to do is do some check-ins with my clients and just to do some just general work. And then I will head off to the gym. I've got a glute hamstring session, so I've got some deadlifts and stuff like that, which I'll probably get on film as well. Heading to the gym, gonna deadlift for the first time in, I'm gonna say 6 months, proper deadlifting. So I'm not expecting my strength to be that good, but we'll see how it goes. So, that didn't go as bad as I expected, but my strength is definitely down low. So, I'm lightening the load. I managed to squeeze 120 for 5. The target rep range that I'm working on is 6 to 8, maybe 6 to 10 now. So what I'm doing for the other 2 sets is to lighten the load of weight, literally quite lighter now, significantly lighter, and just try and do 10 reps on 2 sets, and then that's it. Broke my back. That's it. Training session is done. I now have the rest of the day to pretty much just eat my remaining meals, which isn't very exciting if I'm being honest. I will gauge how many steps I've done. I'm pretty sure that I would have done enough, so I just need to check probably after this clip here. Pretty sure that I won't need to go for another walk, so that's done. And yeah, just review client work and just rinse and repeat really. It's about just after 3 o'clock now. I've been up since 8, so I'll be relaxing in the evening. And yeah, then it's just a case of rinse and repeat. Bodybuilding or losing fat is quite boring as a practice, I must say. There's not much you have to do in order to achieve it, but the most difficult the most difficult part of it is just about being repetitive day in, day out, doing the same things day in, day out. And that's where it becomes difficult, especially in this day and age where we're very social human beings. We like to socialize, especially after the fact that we've been held back from socializing due to lockdown and what's happened over this past year, we will want to be sure to make the most of the situations where we can, say, hug people, we can socialize, sit down, have a drink with people, sit down, eat with people, with friends and family, you name it. So that's where, you know, things get a little bit hazy and fuzzy and difficult. But realistically, all you have to do is set your targets, stick to your targets for as long as possible, and then just wait. Based on that, this boring clip right here, I will be probably pushing to vlog as many times as possible, documenting this process, filming and documenting how to lose 6 kilograms in 8 weeks. You know, that is the aim, that is the target, that's what I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to aim for. But I just want to say, you know, I'm not saying that I'm going to be complacent and say it's going to be easy, but it is going to be relatively simple. And I just want to show you how simple it can be for you to do it. Again, I just want to stress, you know, the reasons why I'm doing this is because I gained just as much weight, if not more weight, in just scale weight than she has throughout this entire pregnancy process. Not embarrassing. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, but it is, you know, something that shouldn't really be happening, you know, especially, you know, as my job as a fitness coach and actor, you know, it's important to actually maintain a similar level of weight. It's important to maintain a similar level of appearance. And, you know, unless you're, you know, a method actor who changes the body shape all the time, you know, just looking after my health is just, that's the most important thing, really. So I know that at this moment in time, I would want to get a bit leaner, especially for when the baby's here, when summer kicks in, and for when I actually go back to full-time employment. So yeah, lots to do. Simplicity is the key. And yeah, watch this space. I promise I probably will dive a little bit deeper into my filmmaking skills. I'm an absolute novice. I actually purchased a course from a YouTuber called Matt Diavella, who I absolutely adore his videos. If you want to check it out. But he released a master YouTube course, and I've purchased it and I went through it. And essentially it's great, but what it's stopping me from doing is actually just filming and actually doing. And I want to relate this back to, say, fitness for a lot of people out there, is that a lot of people want to have the perfect training routine. A lot of people want to have the perfect diet that's going to help them magically get into shape and all that kind of stuff. And most of the time, people are searching for that right thing, of course, but essentially you just need to start. And this way of doing YouTube, for example, maybe doing daily vlogs, is just a way for me to start getting used to the habit of actually producing some content for YouTube. And then after that, that's when I can actually go, you know what, I'm used to the habit of producing content. How can I actually better that? How can I take that the next level up? And the same can be related to your fitness. Just start doing stuff. Just start going to the gym. Don't give yourself that many expectations that you need to do everything. Start small, build yourself up thereafter, and you will have a solid routine. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to go now. I'm going to chill for the rest of the day. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Peace.